This is the transition on Atlantic Television Network. Operatives of the Rivers State Police Command attached to the Intelligence and Surveillance Unit has arrested 3 people said to have specialized in one-chance operations. Confirming the arrest on Monday, the command spokesperson XP Grace Ringikoko said the operatives on September 4, 2024 at about 9 p.m. on routine patrol along Garrison Houses of Aba Road, Port Harcourt, sighted a purple-colored Volvo Golf with 6 occupants. Ringikoko stated that as the patrol van approached the vehicle, one of the occupants was pushed out of the car around the Garrison flyover area. These heinous acts hindered suspicions of the operatives, who then gave the vehicles a hot chest, eventually intercepting the suspects at the Eleme Junction just under the bridge. Ringikoko added that the driver, one other, escaped while the police apprehended 3 suspects, namely Theodosius Sunday Ogu M, a 42-year-old native of Olowu community in Njaba local government area of Imo State, and self-acclaimed artisan residing at Camp Pipeline, Oyibo Chinagorom Eze F, female, age 35 years, a native of Ekmija community in Enugu North local government area of Enugu State, but reside at Railway, Obama, Oyibo, and Favor Yusuf, female at 30 years and a native of Plateau State, presently residing at Enele filling station, Nabo Kam, Oyibo. Ringikoko stated further that preliminary investigation revealed that the suspect specialized in one-chance operation, luring unsuspecting victims into the operational cars posting as the commercial vehicles. The suspect confessed to the crime and revealed that they have been operating in Port Harcourt and its environs between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. daily for the past 3 years before meeting their water low on the fateful day. She added that the suspect will be charged in court at the conclusion of their investigation. Police command in Rivers State has busted a child trafficking ring, rescuing 16 children and arresting a female suspect linked to the crime. SP Grace Ringikoko, the command spokesperson, confirmed the rescue in an interview with the newsmen on Monday in Port Harcourt. She said that the children were found in an estate in Ozoba community, Obiakpo local government area of the state. Ringikoko said that the case has been transferred to the Commissioner of Police Monitoring Units for further investigation. Resident of Ozoba has raised alarm about the suspects who frequently return home with different children. An eyewitness who spoke in confidence said that the suspect has been residing in the fence compound with numerous children for over 2 years. Groups called Inspired News held a maiden edition leadership program with the theme Becoming Future Proof, aimed at enlightening youth in Nigeria on leadership. Oluchi Nwafo completes the report.
Leadership conference with the theme Becoming Future Proof was held at the Faculty of Law Auditorium in the University of Port Harcourt on Saturday, 7th of September 2024. The Global Leadership Conference featured speakers who spoke extensively on how young people can achieve their dreams of becoming future leaders irrespective of obstacles. Lead convener of the conference, Caleb Elochukwu, spoke on the need to be resilient in leadership, identified vision as one of the qualities of becoming a resilient leader.
And vision is the belief in that which you desire to become, a mental picture of your preferred future. Great leaders, they are not motivational speakers. Resilient leaders are not motivational speakers. They are people who have a tiny vision, so great, so big, so mighty, something beyond them that's caused them to pursue their dreams, their goals. And regardless of the obstacles that they meet on the way, they keep going because they are seeing something.
Val Okafor, one of the lead speakers, stressed more on leadership from the mind as the gateway for sustainable development.
Today, I want to let you know that leadership starts from the mind. If you are able to lead your mind, you will succeed in not just leading yourself, but leading others. And mind leadership is simply the ability to lead with mental discipline, self-awareness, and what is called cognitive flexibility.
Also speaking at the event, Pastor Victor Tanu maintained that adequate preparation for the future is key in building stronger leadership and sustaining the trend in the society.
In future-proof is prepare for the future so that when you are there, you are not like moping, you're not like looking, oh, okay, so no. You're really ready for what was coming. Now, ignoring these realities is the reason why a lot of people will miss opportunities, the reason why a lot of people will lose their jobs. A lot of people, just as the case as it is with individuals, it's the same with companies.
Other speakers, including Chioma Nana and Martins Azirundu, SUG president of the institution, advised participants to plan, prepare, and work into leadership.
Whenever anything goes wrong in your business, you don't cry over it. You ask yourself, what caused this problem? And how do I put measures in place to prevent this problem from happening? If you have a business or you have an entrepreneur and a problem keeps popping up in your business, the same problem, then you are the problem.
It's all centers on preparation. I'll have to advise young leaders to get prepared for leadership. Let's not just walk into leadership. Let's not just find ourselves in leadership, but let's gradually, procedurally, trained and prepared walk into leadership, and we'll see the results.
The event had in attendance student wings, youth wings, and other stakeholders from different walks of life. Oluchiwafo, ATN News, Port Harcourt. Leadership Conference with the theme.
Operatives of the Benin Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Sunday arrested 46 suspected internet fraudsters. They were arrested at different locations within Warri Delta State. The anti-graft agency made this known in a statement on its X page. The suspects were arrested following credible intelligence on their alleged involvement in internet-related fraud. 13 extorted cars, laptops and phones were recovered from them. The suspects will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. Media Director of the All Progressives Congress Campaign Council, Kasim Afeobwa, condemned 2 recent attacks on the party's campaign team. Afeobwa also urged that the People's Democratic Party had twisted the narratives to make it seem APC members were attacking their leaders or that the teams was being chased out of the campaign grounds. Afeobwa claims that the narrative promoted by PDP supporters were completely false and the opposite of what transpired. He expressed his gratitude to the security operatives who stepped in to restore order. He added that the party strongly believes no life is worth losing over an election. Afeobwa stated that the APC has restrained its members from engaging in any forms of violence during, in, and after its election season. He, however, said if this trajectory of violence continues, that they may be forced to confront those who think violence and gangsterism are their method of operation. Analysts say political defection amongst party gladiators in Nigeria is normal and as long as political and personal interest is concerned. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a political analyst Nze Nze identified that the timing for the resignation by Governor Basiki media head was aimed to achieve a reverse impact on the ruling party as it may.
The timing must be well calculated by the campees.
Okay.
Or those that decided to resign. Because if they do it now, they feel the ruling party where they have served over time will feel the pause. It will affect them maybe negatively.
Nza said the defection will as well negatively impact on Obaseki's administration.
Somehow we begin to look at it as being either selfish or thereabout. But whatever happened, it is allowed in Nigerian politics. When you are no longer comfortable at a certain party, with some certain party, you can decamp to another. Yeah, the law permits that. There's an opening. So it is not an issue. But the point is that it's a minus to
Election draw near. 4 key media aides to the Edo State Governor Godswin Obaseki have resigned from their position and parted ways with the People's Democratic Party. Reports that the former senior special assistant to the governor, Osayende Emenya, Henry Osahini Ukutu, Efesu Edo Osagi, and Timothy Edopolo will announce their resignations in letters dated September 4 and 6, 2024, addressed to the chairman of their respective wards and councils. Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that the dedicated portal for online accreditation of a journalist and media organization wishing to cover the Ondo State governorship election scheduled for 16 November 2024 has opened on September 9, 2024. It said the portal will automatically shut down at midnight on Thursday, 31st October 2024. National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voters Education Committee Sam Olumekun made this known in a statement on Monday. He noted that interested media organizations wishing to deploy journalists and technical staff to cover the election are, by the statement, required to apply. Honorable Minister of FCT Nyesom Wike on 7 September 2024 signed 2 memoranda of understanding with the China Civil Engineering Construction Company and the China Geo-Engineering Corporation overseas construction group for the lighting up of the FCT using solar power and ensuring rural water supply. The minister and the 2 companies came in agreements during the Summit Forum on China-Africa Cooperation held in Beijing, China, which created platforms for business discussion and infrastructure development in Abuja, Nigeria at large. Joseph Moses completes the report.
2024 Summit Forum on China-Africa Cooperation in Beijing, China, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu stated the efforts to strengthen cooperation in infrastructure, trade, finance, energy, in economy, and mining. While presiding over Abuja development, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, signed memoranda of understanding with China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation and the China Geo-Engineering Corporation Overseas Construction Group for the lightening up of FCT using solar power and rural area water supply.
And you know, the Renew Hope agenda mantra is to give back hope to those who have lost hope in terms of government providing or giving them what they're supposed, their responsibilities. Before now, you know, Abuja is the only capital city we have. Abuja will be 50 years by its establishment or creation by next year. And so we'll be having the Jubilee for making Abuja to 50 years. We want Abuja to be like other cities. When Beijing see what we have seen, everywhere is lit up. There's not like darkness in Beijing. And so we have come into agreement with 2 major companies in China, CCECC and CGC-OC Group, which we call in Nigeria CGC, to divide the jobs by making sure that Abuja is lit up. The whole area of Maitamba, the whole area of Asokoro, Wuse, Central Business Stadium, the Airport Road, down to the Clinton Drive, will be handled by CCCC, while the districts of Maabuchi, Katambe, and Garki will be handled by CGCOC, or what we call the CGC.
Again, speaking of the provision of water, the minister said there is need to equally ensure water supply on the satellite areas of the FCT, stressing that the project would further ensure the FCT's development were by Mr. President at the FOCAC summit as part of to bring back hope to the residents of FCT.
Group. And again, we're going for them. Of course, you know, we call it water, which is being handled by the CGC group. And that has been awarded for some years. But by the grace of God, they have now up to 70% completion. We believe by the grace of God, by this December or thereabout, they would have completed it. But Mr. President, in his way, said, look, you can't only provide for the cities. You also have to talk about the satellite towns, the rural area, the area councils. And so we came up with this idea that, look, that the need to have satellite town water supply in Gwagwalada, in Kwale, and Kuje. So we're able to sign that with CGC for them to carry out this assignment. So it is not what we say that it's only the city center that we are concentrating. Now we're also talking about the area council. It has never happened before. This is the first time. And so we're happy for the opportunity Mr. President has given and for his commitment. But I think that we must make sure that this takes place. It's not just to come to China and what I'm going back home with. As I speak to you, as we go back, this has to be implemented. Procurement process will have to start.
The Chinese contractor both appreciated the minister for having confidence on them to execute the project and ensuring the ministers of quality and timely delivery of the project. In Abuja, Joseph Moses Mawinka, Atlantic Television Network News.
Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has paraded 13 suspects who used the cover of a heavy downpour to perpetrate their infernal activities. The suspects, who are all males, were said to have allegedly vandalized some critical national assets and infrastructures in the nation's capital, Abuja. FCT Command of the NSCDC, Dr. Olusola Odumosu, who spoke with journalists at the command's headquarters in Abuja, said the recovered items ranged from vandalized street lights, billboards, Almond electricity cables, rod, among other items valued at 5 million naira. He said the selling point of the exhibit have been discovered, while efforts are in place to track prospective buyers. He warned those nursing the intention of vandalizing public assets to disease, as the Corps will not allow anyone to frustrate the federal government's efforts at providing infrastructure for the people. Odumosu also applauded the command's intelligence department for effectively utilizing the technique learned during a recent training exercise. Kaduna Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned one Ibrahim Shuaibu before Justice Durus Kobo of the Kaduna State High Court sitting in Kaduna State for fraud, according to a statement on EFCC X handle. Shuaibu is facing prosecution on the 7-count charges, including criminal breach of trust, impersonation, and obtaining by false pretense, amounting to 100 million naira. The 7-count counter on criminal breach of trust, impersonation, and obtaining as much as 100 million from victims by false pretense. According to the EFCC, in 2017, Mr. Shuaibu presented himself to his victim as NNPCL's Group Executive Director and promised to assist him procure over 20,000 liters of petroleum product. The victim, Foskal Shaiwu, was said to have transferred the agreed cost to Shuaibu's bank account in trance. The commission says Shuaibu failed to fulfill his own part of bargain after receiving payment and failed to refund the victim's money. The defendants pleaded not guilty to all the 7 charges when they were read to him. The judges Darus Kobo remanded him in prison. Unidentified gunmen suspected to be bandits in their large numbers have kidnapped 2 nurses and unspecific number of patients from the primary health care centers at Kuyalo, an eastern part of Breni Gwari local government area of Kaduna State. The hoodlums were said to have targeted the nearby Government Day Secondary School. However, upon finding the school empty, they stormed the closest health center. According to Musa Hausan, a leader of the local vigilante group in the area, the bandits who were seeking to adopt students insisted took 2 female nurses and several patients hostage, leaving the community in a state of panic. An eyewitness further revealed that the bandits came into the healthcare center, wielding guns and machetes and dragging people out of the hospital. Etienne recalls that bandits had attacked a community in Kaduna State last week Friday. The incident is the latest in a series of attacks by bandits in the state. However, there is no official statement yet on the incident from the state government. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has dismissed Dr. Adam Moshambo from his role as Commissioner for Health. The announcement was made during the swearing-in ceremony of 3 new commissioners and the Chief Security Advisor. Governor Mohammed also revealed that his administration will no longer assign a commissioner to the Ministry of Local Government following the date of the former commissioner and the implementation of new local government legislation. Recall that the former commissioner for local government, Hamad Jalam, passed away in a car accident in June this year. Additionally, 2 other commissioners resigned to pursue local government chairmanship positions. And the Chief Security Advisor was dismissed. Governor Mohammed announced Dr. Sani Bambam as the new Commissioner for Health, replacing Dr. Shambo Zenab Babatunaka is now the new Commissioner for Women Affairs. Engineer Mohammed Abduladik has been assigned to the Ministry of Commerce, and Dr. Hamad Abdurrahman will take on the role of Chief Security Advisor. Miyetti Ha Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has announced a ban on the use of underage headers and night guards in Kwara State. The national president, Alhaji Baba Otoman Negelama, announced the decision during the inauguration of the state's new executive in Ilorin. Otonam Ngelarama highlighted the importance of fostering peace and coexistence between farmers and herders, urging the new executive to prioritize maintaining harmony. He condemned night guarding as the practice often used to incite conflict. He added that anyone engaging in night guarding is intentionally stirring up troubles and they do not support this practice, and that anyone involved will be handed over to the security agencies for appropriate action. Otman Gelarma acknowledged the value of both farmers and pastoralist livelihood, noting that the cow is as precious as a pastoralist as crop as are to farmers. He also commended President Bola Tinubu's administration for establishing the Ministry of Livestock Development. He believed will significantly benefit the economy, addressing the border's issues of insecurity, which he described as complex and involving criminal activities like kidnapping and banditry. Osman called for the united approach to tackle the problem. Remains of 3 victims of the building collapse in Kano State were laid to rest amidst tears and wailing by family members, friends, and associates. Among the victims include 2 children of a tenant of the ill-fated building and a nephew who is residing with them. Despite the endless rescue operation 4 days after the tragic incident, the first daughter of the family, identified as Damila, is still missing as of the time of filing this report. The parents of the victims, who are currently receiving treatment at the hospitals, are the only survivor of the tragic incident. The mass burial, coordinated by Pastor Michael Ayin, was attended by mammoth crowd who thronged the Ahmadiyya Cemetery to pay their last respect to the victims of a tragic incident. ATN recalls that the National Agency Management Agency Kano confirmed the death of 2 children, while 2 others suffered injuries following the collapse of a 2-story building as No Man's Land, Farget local government area of the state. NEMA coordinator Kano Territorial Office Dr. Nuraden Abdullahi, who confirmed the number of persons who died in the building collapse incident, said the agency received a distress call today at about 2 a.m. from the Good Samaritan that a 2-story building collapsed at Norman Land Quarters, Kano, predominantly occupied by the non-indigenous community. Federal government has ordered an immediate investigation into the recent collapse of a 2-story building in Norman's Land Quarters, FAG local government area of Kano State. The collapse, which occurred on Thursday last week, has left 2 people dead and 2 others hospitalized. According to the report by the National Emergency Management Agency, in a statement issued by the Director of Information and Public Relations, Sailuz Haiba, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Hamad Danjiwa, expressed deep concern over the incident and directed that a full-scale investigation to be conducted to determine the cause of the collapse. Dangiwa described the Kano collapse as another sad development, exposing the rot in the building industry over the years, which, if unchecked, will continue to remain catastrophic to the industry and society. He emphasized the need for a thorough overhaul of the building industry to prevent further tragedies. He highlighted the importance of implementing building codes and regulations across the country. The minister urged state government and relevant agencies to act swiftly to prevent further incidents. Recalling a similar building collapse in Jos Plateau State earlier this year, Danjiwa reiterated the federal government's commitment to holding those responsible accountable. He further assured that the government would enforce stricter regulations to deter reckless and unprofessional practices. In the construction industry, the minister extended his condolences to the families of the deceased and wished a speedy recovery to those injured in the incidents. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. Welcome back. This is Transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sent heartfelt condolences to the government and people of Niger State on the petrol tanker explosion on the Bida Agelape Road on Sunday in Niger State. The tanker explosion has claimed the lives of 48 people and 50 livestock. According to the Niger Emergency Management Agency and the Federal Road Safety Corps, many people were injured in the accident, which also involved a truck loaded with cattle and passengers. Responding to the calamity signed by the special advisor to the president, Bayo Onuoga, Tinubu's commiserated with the families of the dead and injured victims. He also sympathized with the owners of the shop affected by the tragedy. He prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured. The president commended the federal and the state emergency agencies for their swift response. He similarly commended the good-spirited Nigerians who all mobilized to the incident scenes to assist the victims. He pledged continued support for efforts aimed at providing relief to those affected. President Tinubu has directed relevant federal agencies in transportation and road infrastructure to redouble their efforts and work with state government to enhance the safety and security of travelers and residents. Federal government has directed the exclusion of third-party research grant fund of federal universities and research institutions from the Treasury single account. In a letter from the National Universities Commission to Vice Chancellors dated 6 September 2024 and seen by the newsmen in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Professor Taha Maman, conveyed the President's directive to the Coordinating Minister of Finance and National Economy, Wale Edun, mandating the exemptions. The directive also grants universities and research institutions the autonomy to operate their endowment fund account in commercial banks. This move is expected to enhance the financial autonomy of universities and research institutions, promoting research and innovation in the country. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi has opposed the institutional amendment to block presidential pardon for corrupt leaders meant to strengthen the fight against corruption. The proposal made at the one-day roundtable organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission in Abuja seeks to exclude corruption cases from the prerogative of mercies. According to the Minister of Justice, the proposed amendment will be pursued in the next constitutional review to ensure that corrupt leaders face the full weight of the law. The ASGF stated the proposal would be a significant step towards addressing corruptions in Nigeria, a major concern for citizens and the international communities, noting that several high-profile individuals convicted of corruption in Nigeria have previously received presidential pardons. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, Senator Osin Akachukwu Idozu lauded the proposal, noting that corruption undermines institutions and stifles development. He reiterated the Senate's commitment to supporting anti-corruption initiatives. ICPC Chairman Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu emphasized the importance of collaborations between the ICPC and State Attorney General in preventing corruptions and promoting good governance. He explained that the ICPC has been working to strengthen its anti-corruption efforts through preventive measures and enforcement. As part of an effort to enhance operational flexibility, inject fresh perspectives and optimal leadership capabilities, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has approved the posting and redeployment of some senior officials, including branch chief air officials, commanding directors, and commanders. A statement signed by the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information Group, Captain Kabiru Ali, says some of the deployed officers are Air Vice Marshals Olusha Kumi Abidoye have been deployed from the Defense Headquarters to NAF Headquarters as the Chief of Standard and Evaluations, AVM. Adeyini Amisonola Formerly the commandant of the Armed Forces Resettlement Center, now to serve as the Chief of Transformation and Innovation at NAF headquarters, and AVM Abubakar Adamu as Group Managing Director of NAFIL Groups. Also affected are AFM Ibikunle Daramola, a former Chief of Communication and Information Systems, reassigned as the Chief of Civil Military Relations. AVM Abiola Amodu, who served as the Director General of the Air Force Research and Development Institute, now the Chief of Aircraft Engineering, and AVM Patrick Phillips is now the Chief of Logistics. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Bubakar, while congratulating the new appointees, enumerated the essence of the deployment, while majorly allowed for strategic flexibility and resources optimization for enhanced operational effectiveness of the ANF. Authority of the Nigerian Army has debunked report of mass resignation of its soldiers from the service due to corruption, low morals, among others. The authority, in a statement by Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, Director Army Public Relations, described the report as baseless. A news platform has alleged mass resignation of Nigerian soldiers over corruption, low morals, among others. But the statement further described the report as not only misleading, but also deliberate attempt to sow the seed of disaffection and acrimony, as well as denigrate the patriot service of personnel and reputation of the Nigerian Army. Nwachukwu said, contrary to the insinuations in the report, Nigerian Army personnel are highly motivated and their welfare is top priority under the visionary leadership of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Toret Lagbaja. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Wilson Jack, has called for stronger collaboration among federal permanent secretaries to accredit the implementation of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plans 2021-2025. This, according to a statement released by the Director of Praise in the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Eno Olutu, Wilson Jack emphasized at the inaugural retreat for federal permanent secretaries, noting this plan is not just a document but a strategic roadmap that will shape a more efficient, accountable, and citizens-focused public service. The retreat, held from September 5 to 7, 2024 in Zuba, Niger State, was themed Accrediting Public Service Reform Towards Effective Service Delivery. In a keynote, Wilson Jack highlighted permanent secretaries' critical roles in bridging public policy formations and executions. She urged them to align their operations with the objective of the FCSSIP 25 to ensure effective implementation and uphold the principles of good governance, commending the permanent secretaries for their dedication to maintaining the service values and standard. Wilson Jack encouraged them to see themselves as a custodian of institutional knowledge, tasked with serving Nigerians with integrity and impartiality. Executive Secretary, the National Senior Secondary Education Commission, Dr. Iyala Ajayi, has urged the management staff of the commission to be dedicated to improving the service delivery of the organization. Ajayi made a call at the three-day B-Day sanitation workshop on performance management system of the commission in Nasarawa. The executive secretary said the objectives of the workshop was to enhance, transform, and improve the educational system to ensure a brighter future. Ajayi added that the workshop would facilitate actionable strategies that would serve as a formation for enhancing the performance management framework. He further urged management staff to refine their performance management practices to enhance effectiveness as well as contribute to the betterment of the entire education sector. On his part, Mr. Abiodun Ajayi from the Performance Management Department Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation said the training was necessary to bring effectiveness in service delivery. He noted that it is a monthly review and a brain behind the monthly review is to have feedback and check employees' delivery and quarterly appraisals. He added that MDAs were expected to draw their objective from the monthly and quarterly appraisal of the PMS for optimum and effective performance. According to him, the PMS has two phrases: the institutional performance management that has to do with deliverable and the employees' performance management for promotions, discipline, reward, and recognition. Labour Party factional leadership led by Julius Abure says all its tickets ahead of 2027 general elections are open to qualified Nigerians. Abure made the announcement after the National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja. Abure's statement comes amidst the controversy that trailed the recent stakeholders meeting convened by the governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, and 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi, where a former Minister of Finance Nenadi Usman was announced as caretaker, the chairperson of the party. The Department of State Service has clarified why its officers visited the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project Abuja office on Monday. The Secret Police, in a statement on its website, explained that contrary to the reports that its officials raided Serap office and the agents were details for routine investigation, and insisted that the officers' action had been misinterpreted as harassment and intimidation, while the Department of State Service has been underdated with multiple requires as it alleged unlawful invention of Serap's office in Abuja and Lagos. It said the narrative is inaccurate and misleading in its intent. For the record, that the team of two unarmed service operatives were unlawfully detained on the routine investigation to the Serap office in Abuja, which has sadly been tweaked and misinterpreted as unlawful harassment and intimidation of Serap officials. In a statement by Serap Deputy Director Kowale Oluwadare, the organization said they condemned the invasion of Abuja office by Nigeria's Department of State Services, adding that Tinubu's administration must immediately direct the DSS to end the intimidation and harassment of the Serap and its staff members. Serap statement also said the invasion of the Serap's office by the DSS and the harassment and intimidation of the staff members is a brutal assault on the entire human rights community in the country. The Department of State Service has granted administrative bail to the President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, pro-democracy activist and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, announced his release in tweet on Monday night. This is coming after Ajero was arrested on Monday morning at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja while on his way to the United Kingdom for an official engagement. In view of the developments, numerous organizations, civil society groups, activists, and prominent individuals denounced Ajero's arrest and demanded his immediate release. The NLC condemned the arrest and called for his prompt and unconditional release, while a statement issued on Monday evening by the NLC National Administrative Council, led by the Deputy President Adeyanju Adewale, described Ajero's detention as brazen and illegal and a clear violation of workers' rights and democratic values. The council issued an ultimatum calls for Ajero's release by midnight on Monday. And now to business reports. Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, has dismissed reports making the round that the rate for value-added tax (VAT) has been adjusted to 10% from 7.5%. Edun made this clarification in a statement he signed, affirmed that the VAT rate as contained in a relevant tax law and chargeable on goods and services remain at 7.5%. According to him, the focus of the government is to introduce policies that will improve the lives of Nigerians, not impoverish their citizenry. He expressed that is why the government recently introduced 150 days of zero import duties on stamped food over the rice, wheat, beans, other food items. This coming after the Taiwo Oyedele, Chairman, Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, during an interview, hinted at the plans to propose a law to increase VAT to 10% from 7.5%. His comment has since sparked criticism. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, reacting to the proposal, said it will be an inferno that will consume the every essence of Nigerian people. Following the recent hike in the price of petroleum motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, small business owners under the aegis of the Association of Small Businesses Owners of Nigeria have decided to adopt survival strategies that will ensure that they do not go into extinction. This is coming on the back of warnings by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and ASBON that the fuel price increase could lead to scaling down of operations and possibly shut down of more manufacturing companies and macro, small and medium enterprises in the country. In an exclusive chat with newsmen, Hasbon President Femi Egbesola stated for them in the MSME sector, the way ASNAC is focusing on not what the government will do for them, but for what they don't have control over, what they're rather focusing on what they have control on, and is what they can do for themselves. Meanwhile, Man and Hasbon told newsmen that the increase in fuel price would lead to further rise in inflation, increased cost of production and logistics, low demand, rising inventory, and consequent loss of jobs. The Director General of MAN, Shegun Ajay Kader, said, in terms of what the impact might be, and judging from what they have witnessed in the past, the cost of transportation may increase, and so would the price of goods and services. These are pointers to the high possibility of rise in inflation figures impacting households' budgets. Analysts have expressed concern over the cost of petrol from Dangote's refinery. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, a political analyst, Ekiye maintained that the long-term expectation of most Nigerians were dependent on Dangote's refinery to ameliorate the lingering hike in fuel price across the country.
My fear is, will the PMS gotten from Dangote refinery, will it reduce the price of PMS, petrol, at the filling station where the common Nigerian man buys from the 1,200 or 1,300, maybe now to 700 naira, or to 600 naira, or to 500 naira? If it has nothing to do with price reduction, it's as useless as the situation we are in.
Ekiye also said PMS from Dangote refinery may not reduce the sufferings of Nigerians as should.
So we were clamoring, trusting that, Dangote refinery is going to help reduce the price of PMS. That was what many Nigerians were expecting. And some of us understand that it may not be so.
Nigeria's National Petroleum Company Limited clarified that Dangote's refinery and other domestic refinery are free to sell petroleum products directly to any marketers on the willing seller, willing buyers basis, which is the current practice for all full deregulated products. And that's the size of the package. I am Immaculata Irekana. You can join us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. Also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress.